Okay, and then Gina and Aaron, whenever you're ready, please take it away.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, Gina.
Hi. How are you?
Good. So no Chelsea today. She was at Children's Week, so I'd be traveling back now. So happy
Very.
Children's Week. It was Children's Week in Tallahassee, everybody. So she may be traveling back even as we speak. So Gina, it's
Yeah.
us today.
Just us. It's
Just
all
us.
right. We're still
Just us.
here
Hi, everybody.
doing our thing. So this is our monthly Q&A. Um, where are we? I think we didn't do one. Did we not do one last month? Because we
I
had the
think we did
quarterly meeting.
last month.
Honestly, I'm so
It's
like
flying. I know I missed
discombobulated.
one there.
So yeah, so we're gonna
Yeah, I
this is
missed one.
just
Sorry.
that. We should have Jennifer Coleman on somewhere.
Yeah,
Ariel,
let's see if we can
if
find
you
her.
find her.
Yes, I think I did.
Hello.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Let's see if my video works.
There we are.
Hi.
Hi. And I think we had a slide for her too with some
Yeah.
info.
Yes.
We're getting there. We're getting organized. We're
Ariel, I
coming
will
up.
I will keep letting people in. If you want to switch to that, I will admit people. I'll be
Yeah, it's always a it's pick your poison on these
yeah.
things.
Yes, I
I'll
do
admit
have
people. I'll do
we
that part.
do have a slide. Hang on one second. It kind of switched things around a little bit on my end, but let me share. Okay, just making sure you all can see this okay.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, looks great. Well, thank you so much for having me and happy Wednesday, I guess.
People.
I'm really excited to be here and share that it's time once again for book distribution. Our Children's Services Council is very excited to be sending your program and your families attending your program books for children to take home. And so we have sent a survey, you should have received it this Monday, to all of our VPK and school readiness contracted programs to let us know how many kids do you anticipate having in fall enrollment, because the books will come in fall 2025. How many books do you need per age group, and how many books do you need in different languages? We have English, Spanish, and Creole available. And so it should be a quick survey. You're just putting your information about your program, your information about your anticipated enrollment for fall and languages, and then you're submitting. And then you will be getting more information over the summer about when the books will be delivered. And then those books get to go home with your families at your program. And so I just wanted to come and make sure that everybody knows what this book distribution is, answer any questions. The QR code that's on the screen right now, that can be used to go directly to the survey. If you're like, oh, I saw that, but I completely forgot to fill it out, and you're like, I'll do it right now, you can put your phone up and complete the survey that way. Or you can find that email. There will be a reminder email next Monday for anybody that didn't get to fill out the survey. If for any reason you don't want the books, there's also a way to opt out as well.
Nice.
So thank you so much for letting me hang here. I don't know if there's any questions.
Um, Tony says next Tuesday is
Oh,
when the
next
survey will go out
Tuesday.
again. Yeah.
Next
Thank you.
Tuesday. And Tony knows. Tony is the one that many of you might have been speaking with. She's doing all of the coordination for the book distribution. And so if you get a phone call from Tony, definitely want to answer that or call her back so she can make sure that she has accurate information for your program.
Thank you. We rely on all of our supporting staff to come in and let us know what we missed. So that's perfect. Thank you so much. I didn't see any questions, but definitely thank you for giving us the information, and it'll be shared. And of course, our recording goes up on our YouTube page. So if anybody missed it, this will be the first thing that they can see if they check out the recording, and we let everybody know when that goes up. So thank you. Lee asks, who will the survey be coming from? So from that
I
book
believe it's
distribution.
correct. Yes.
Yep.
That email account, bookdistribution@cscpbc.org. So you could even just put probably CSC in your search bar for your emails.
Yep.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. All right. Well, good.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to see you, and we'll
Good to see you too.
talk soon. Thanks.
Sounds good.
Yep. Bye.
And this slide will be in the, I guess, Gina, now we're like a podcast. We have show notes. I know.
We do.
These are always on, we have show notes, or, pretty soon, like, we're going to be bought out by like, some
We can
massive.
only we can only hope, Erin. We can only hope.
If we do like to join the iHeartRadio group, we'll let you all be the first to know. I don't think that's going to happen, but wouldn't
Yeah.
give it. But we do have show notes. So the wonderful and talented Ariel Tuan always puts these out on YouTube, and this will be included with the notes. So if you didn't have a chance to snap that QR code on your screen, or want the link, it'll be there for you. So we know often you're doing other things at the same time. Totally get it. So it will be in our fancy podcast show notes. Okay, great. Perfect.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, and again, this is our monthly Q&A. We're here for any questions you have. Couple of reminders as usual, our normal kind of things. I don't even know, Erin, what do you have for reminders? I'll have to think for a second. I can't even remember.
So I know I'm going back through my notes, so don't worry. So a couple things I want to mention is our Empower conference is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So it is just around the bend in May. So if you have not registered for Empower yet, I'm going to put the link in the chat. And my other question is just, why not? Because it is so fun. Gina's there. I'm
Yeah.
there. We have
Yeah.
amazing trainings. And we want you all to come out. You get a huge bunch of hours all in one shot. It's a great way to bond with your staff. So I'm going to put that in the chat. You can register right on our website. Super, super easy. And we are hoping that you will do that and register for us. So it's coming up in May. This year it is May 3rd. I don't get to say May 4th this year. No Star Wars. The theme this year is really storybooks. And so we will be focusing on Winnie the Pooh, Wizard of Oz, just for those of you who like to dress for the theme. That's why I'm talking about this. Alice in Wonderland, and I think Peter Pan. Ariel, correct me if I'm wrong. So really a storybook theme this year. It will be on our socials. We love the fact that some of you really get into that. So that's why I'm going over that. If you're wondering, why is she listing storybooks? That's why.
I think you got all of them. You're
It
good.
is. I get them all. Okay, good.
Yes.
I'm on it today. So I'll put the link in the chat. If you have not done it yet, please do. Also, for all of you who have already been on the conference app talking, I love it. It's amazing.
So cool. Yeah.
It's so cool, the conversations that are going on. We will be having of the year awards. They're a little bit different this year. There's some different categories. Gina just sent those out. We're voting. I cried. They were so wonderful. So just thank you for all you do. They were really, really wonderful. So we hope to see you on the 3rd. If you haven't registered yet, there is still time. My other thing off the top of my head is if you are in Boynton Beach, Delray Beach, or Boca, we are starting a new collaborative. And we want you to join us. So if your programs are located in the Boynton area, the Delray area, the Boca area, we're going to have one collaborative. And so some of you might go, what is a collaborative? What is she talking about? So the collaboratives are really a community-based group. It is your meeting for providers. We may have some representatives from the district, our community partners, but it is really your meeting to talk about what it is that are your hopes and wants for your program, your children, your families. It really informs what we do as a coalition, but it also helps us think about ways we can support you. It is your meeting. It is your chance to come together with your peers, share ideas with us. We have had a tremendous response. And as of last check, there's a couple spots left. So if you have not signed up for the collab, I'm going to put a link in the chat for that as well. So I will label all my links so you're not like, goodness, which one goes to which. I promise I will try to be organized for you today. And I think actually Ariel maybe, yes, Ariel's like so maybe ahead of me. If not, I'll double check. So we'll do the conference in there, the collab meeting in there. We want to make sure, please, come out to these things and be involved with us. We are here to support you. That is our whole job. That's our whole job. So come be with us. Give us your feedback. We really want to see you there.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Okay. Um, I have been working diligently with people in the single sign-on process, that switch that happened at the end of last month. We'll have more information to come out, but if you have any issues still with getting in, if you're not able to access the QPS system as a school readiness provider, or if you um, need to add a user or you have an issue with a single sign-on, we are going to move to an online process also. We'll include that in the future where you can submit us an online request. But right now, if you just contact any of your provider services staff, we can get that request in to fix the access. So we're still working through some of those issues, and we appreciate all of your patience. I know it's not been an easy process, and we were learning it right along with you. So thank you so much for your grace in that, and I just know that we are still here to support you with anything that may happen. So just let us know if anything comes up.
And for your families, families also are going through a single
Yeah.
sign-on process. So, they're working through that alongside you. So, if they hit the contact link on our website, it will come over to the communications team. So their emails will come to me, they'll come to Ariel, they'll come to the communications team. And so the first step we will do is we will send them instructions. So we can pretty easily tell folks that have an account, there's one process if they already have a family portal account, and there's a different process if they're totally new to creating an account. So what we often find, like most of us, they're doing things at night. They're doing them at night, they're doing them on the weekend. So our first step with them is we're going to send them instructions. And happily, we've had a lot of people get back and say, that worked for me, right? Those new
Yeah.
instructions, I just had to find the right thing in the drop down and I'm sailing. There are some cases where their information didn't quite travel over in the way that it matches up really well, and we immediately send those over to Family Services. And I have to tell you, they have been on it. I barely hit send that I get an email back from Family Services saying we've assigned it, we're contacting them, we're working it out. And there are some families where that will happen. And they're working with them very quickly to get them rematched in the system so that they can log in. A lot of requests we're having right now are for VPK certificates, so that's good. Families have gotten their certificates, they've applied, and now they want to bring them out to your program. So we're trying to move them as quickly as possible. But if they have questions, absolutely send them our way. Tell them they can hit contact us. They can call us at 561-514-3300. But the instructions we have that came with the portal are working for families. They are having good luck with those. So just keep sending those families our way. We want to make sure they get their certificates, their redeterminations are done. We want to make sure they get everything they need and get used to the new system. So we're in a bit of a learning curve, but we're going to get there. So just keep sending them our way.
Lee put in the chat about how long you're able to stay logged in. We haven't heard anything from DEL about that process. I do know it does log you out, logs me out. So when I'm in there working, so I think we're still in the, reporting issues and seeing things happening. So we'll put that in our queue of items that we're telling DEL about that people are getting logged out and see if that will change in the future. But I haven't heard specifically, but we definitely can add it in. I think from my house, from provider services, we had a few people still who needed to do the profiles in the system. So we always start our year out with new profiles. So everyone was doing 25, 26 profiles. All of our contracts, we redo school readiness and the CSC scholarship contracts for July 1st. We have not yet started that process. So you haven't missed anything. You will get another email from me if I still need your profile from you. And I realize some people we're still working with the single sign-on process, so they may not have been able to get in, but we do need those to be able to do contracting once that comes up. So we're hoping that will be available to us relatively quickly. We will still be doing CSC scholarship contracts outside of the system, so that will come to you as a DocuSign, which probably won't be until next month before I can get those out. And those of you that do SR Match, I will be sending out the renewal commitment forms for SR Match probably next week. So I do have a number of people that do that program, so that'll be coming out as well from DocuSign, but I'll send out advisory email that it's coming before I send it so that you know it's coming. Um, those of you that may have applied for the mini grant from Children's Services Council, the payment for, and I'll send out an official uh, email and everything, but the payment for that mini grant was sent to you at the end of February. And I did realize that the payment reports were not uploaded into the portal, so I'm getting those into there. The reminder on that mini grant, you have until April 30th to spend the money. So we're at the 16th of the month. That's, 2 weeks left in the month. If you have not spent that funding yet, you can go back to January on expenditures, but the money does need to be spent by April 30th. My intent is to have the expenditure report open in WebAuthor come the last week of April. And I will send out an email on how to do that. You will have until the end of June to submit those expenditure reports. So no hurry, no stress. It's coming. Just, keep track of your receipts and how you spent that funding so that you can report it in WebAuthor when it becomes available. It's not there yet. You haven't missed it. It's coming out pretty soon, but just just a reminder. So if you forgot about that, sure you weren't, this is not the only thing on your plate. So if you've forgotten about it, we're just just a little reminder, but I will send out an official email reminder and some guidance once I have that ready. Let's see what else. I did have a couple things from Palm Beach State College. They are going to be having the exams in Creole. So that is available as of Monday. And I'll send out an email on that. You can always contact Lucia Adrian, but she does now have options for the DCF health and safety trainings exams to be done in Creole, which is exciting. We've been waiting for that, so that's good to hear. And they do have some summer HEV classes starting up too. So I'll send an email out with that. I have a couple emails to send out with some different things going on. VPK, we rotate to VPK. There are some preliminary information only scores on how you did, how providers did for the VPK FAST on the Department of Education's, the DEL website. I think we'll get that out in an email if you want to check how you are doing. It does not, it's from information only purposes. It does not put you on probation or take you off of probation at any point. It's just so that you know sort of where, how that worked last year. So that did come out. We'll get that out to you. And you may have seen if you've taken Renaissance training that you saw, I'll send out a reminder about that too, but they are shifting the Renaissance U website where you were taking those annual Renaissance trainings for assessments. That website is going to be shifting to a new site. So if you needed to get out of that site, any of your transcripts or training history for your staff, you need to do that, I think, by May 1st. And then there'll be a new site coming online. That is where you'll go to take new trainings. But that's also another email on my to-do list to get out to you. It's coming. It's coming. It's a very long to-do list. If you are in the same vein of VPK, and I'll just keep going, if you're in the same vein of VPK, if you're a provider on probation currently for this current year, please remember to update your plan with any completion dates for activities, and I will also email all of those providers so that you go in and update your plan. The provider on probation process is completely revised. It will be completely new for the new year, so we'll talk about that when we're ready with our we won't know who will become a provider on probation until August. So we'll talk about that when we get there, I think. Oh, Fran. Can we send out the attachment for the class score guidelines? Sure, we can absolutely do that. Thank you, Fran. Oh, hang on, I got messages popping up. There we go. You guys are so good with your links. Very nice. Any questions on any of that? I know that's kind of a lot and you're probably listening and doing speak commands. So that I make sure that I get, if there's anything else that you would like more information on, we still do the monthly, we have one more VPK FAST monthly webinars on the first Tuesday of the month. So the last one will be on May 6th. I do need to get you out the recording of April's session, which was really nice, and then the link to register for May 6th session if you're interested. Claudia and Ruth come on and do those with us about the different class environments that you're doing in your classrooms for VPK. So those are still going on. We have one left for this year. We're talking about summer defeating summer slide, I think, is our or combating summer slide in our May 6th session. So what else can we support with? Oh, I think you're muted, Aaron. Your lips are moving, but there's no sound.
All right, Gina, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. So I'm a very loud typer, and I make Gina crazy with my very loud typing. So that's what I was saying. So yes, I turned my mic off because I'm a very loud typist. I just you wouldn't hear Gina talk anymore because that's pretty much that's exactly Gina what she just did. That's not even like a joke. That's actually how I really type. So try not to make her crazy. So that's why I was on mute. All right, hi everybody. So also VPK providers, you also should have received materials from New Worlds Reading to get out to your family. So if you received a box and you're like, what are all these goodies? What are all these flyers? What is all this stuff? So you should have received an email and then a box of goodies with materials to give out to families about New Worlds Reading. So New Worlds is the program that's available for children and their families who don't score on expectation level when they take the VPK assessment. That family is then eligible to receive free books. They receive those books the whole way up through elementary school. So it's really, really a wonderful program and a way for them to receive books. So April, I'm seeing you did not receive it. Okay, we will let New Worlds know. Anybody else, please let us know in the chat and we can send them a list, but you should have gotten a box of books. Important to know because there are some families, and they may still be coming. So they said they could be coming through the end of May because I think they're shipping them in batches. So I'm going to make note of who said they didn't get it, but yours may still be coming. If you have families that scored on expectation level, they will not be eligible for the books. So I'm sorry. So it is a program for our families who did not score on expectation level, and they receive those books and they receive those all the way through elementary school. So really, really cool program, really wonderful programs. They want to get the word out. So if you didn't get it yet, I've noted it, but they did say they would be going out because they're going out statewide. Every VPK program, they're sending them out in batches. So sit tight for a moment. If you don't get them. And if you still don't get them, I'll be at the conference on May 3rd. So if you're at the conference, you can also come find me and say, listen, I didn't get my box. So, but reach out, let me know. Please let me know if you didn't get a box so we can connect with them and make sure you get everything for your families and all the information. They also have a really wonderful online toolkit. We can send you links to some of the easy forms. So once you run out of forms, if you would like those, welcome to have those. But you should be receiving those as well. Any questions on that? Happy to answer those.
Yeah. Which kind of leads us to the Summer Bridge program too, right? And I don't know that I have all the details on that one, but I do know that the VPK reports are showing if a student might be eligible for Summer Bridge.
Right. So Summer Bridge program will be based on the post-assessment. So once those scores come out from the state of Florida, those children who did not score at level will be eligible for Summer Bridge. And that program will be available through district sites. It's about 4 hours a day. They are finalizing locations where that will be available. So more information is forthcoming. There will be a very fast turnaround between when scores are posted and when families can decide. So once we get the final information as far as how families contact, what locations are available, we'll be getting that out because we know those families may be asking you, what are the opportunities for me? It is important to note, so it's a portion of the day. So if you have a family that needs full day, it's one of those things they'll kind of have to think about. It's not a program where they will be offering transportation back and forth. So it is one of those programs where they kind of have to think about how they're going to make that work. So as soon as we have more details on that, we will send those out to you as far as locations, contacts. Little Angels, I gotcha. Okay, did not get it. Okay. So as soon as we have that, it will be fast turnaround for those families. So if they have questions, we'll make sure to send it to you. Also with a quick FAQ that you can give them as far as what steps they need to take, how they need to get registered, what's available, times of day, all those questions parents are going to have. As soon as we have that, we will get that out to you. Just waiting on a little more information so we can give the full picture. Great question.
I don't think I had any other updates. I don't exactly.
Those were my big ones. I'm going to go back through all my notes. I have to make notes because my brain only holds so much information at this age. So if anybody else is with me on that, feel it.
Exactly. It's too much. I keep saying it's just too much.
Okay, so that's the link to the South County Collab, that big long link. Thank you, Ariel, because I was just giving you a link to LMS, which was not super helpful. So Ariel had to touch. I just saw the question that came in around school readiness. Is the approved budget in Congress affecting the SR money? Not to our knowledge, there's nothing that is affecting school readiness money. Are you talking about, I think you're talking about the CCDF money at the federal level? I know there's also our state budget is moving through. There are some considerations that are going through for school districts themselves. But in either case, not for school readiness money. And at the federal level, it's called Child Care Development Block Fund or block money. So not there either. We are on a continuation budget. That is not out of the ordinary. That's very common, especially when a new president comes in. They are inaugurated and budgets are due very shortly after. So that has happened through a lot of administrations. So we are on a continuation that goes through September 30th of this year. So if you hear of anything where there's only funding through September 30th, that does not mean the bottom is dropping out. That's very common that when there's a continuation, it gives them more time to move the budget through. Has happened through a lot of presidencies. It's just the funky timing of inauguration and budgets. And so if you hear it's like, why are we only getting half a year of funding? It's just they have a little bit more runway to work through a finalized budget. And so the continuation takes us through the end of September. But nothing we've heard. No.
It's good to know.
I
Get
know.
you on it, Erin.
I went on a whole webinar on a primer on federal budgets. It was extremely helpful. I'm sure I learned it in a civics class somewhere.
Somewhere.
And I just didn't remember. I did, Gina. It was very helpful. Very helpful. It was like taking it all over again. It was very helpful.
Wow. All right. Still have trainings going on. Our training
Oh my
calendar is
goodness.
still very full. Lots of things for people to take. If you need your in-service before the end of the year, please come around, hit us up. We still have trainings available.
Absolutely. We also have some trainings coming up in early May that are going to be around developmental or child assessment. So there will be 2 of those coming up. One is in the evening, one is midday. We'll put the dates and times, but that will be coming out to you as well with more information. So those are not quite on the calendar yet, but you will be getting more information about those if that's of interest to you. Our calendar has some really amazing trainings. So beyond the conference, which you should all come to the conference because the conference is so much fun. Check out our training calendar because there's a lot of options, especially if you have new staff. And I was just talking to programs this week who have new staff. Or they have staff, they've had to staff up for the summer and they're planning to keep those staff through next year. So, brand new to them. Really important to get them in those classes. We know the first thing is we want to get them through 45 hours, right? We need to get them through 45 hours. Fully appreciate that. But after that, we want them to have more of a baseline to work with our children. It makes your job easier overall. So, get them on our calendar, get them used to it. Have them create an account, come over. Because it makes such a difference in how they work in the classroom, makes their life easier too. Right? Makes their life easier. So absolutely check out the training calendar for all those new folks that are coming on.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And always free. You'll see.
Always free.
Aside from our conference, but everything else always free to attend.
And the conference is reasonable.
It is. Oh my
And you
gosh.
get breakfast, and you get lunch, and you get a keynote, and Digital Vibes is there.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
always fun. Yeah.
that's always fun. So, and Gina and I are there. No,
And
I
we're
mean,
there too.
Gina and I are free with purchase, but
That's true.
we are free with purchase. But
We will
come see
be
us at the
coming around.
conference.
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes I get people that ask about like what VPK will pay for next year. I won't know that until the state sets their budget, which usually is May-ish by
Mhm.
the time that comes out.
Okay.
So once I know, I will email blast that with what the VPK rate will be for the fall programming. We haven't seen any changes in requirements for VPK, so that still remains the same. Goodness, you guys are quiet today. All these
It is
people.
quite. Any other questions? We talked about contracts,
Yeah.
book giveaway.
Book giveaway from CSC. Just reminder. I cannot think I want to say there's something else I was supposed to remind you about, and I forgot now what it is. Single sign-on has been a lot lately. Excuse me. All right.
Any other questions, guys? I know it's the end of the year, right? It's the end of the year. We've made it.
Made it to the end.
I know.
Almost. So close.
Almost. I know. If anyone has kids that they're driving to school right now, they're kind of in that like we're almost there phase of life. So we get it. We get it. We get it. The other thing I did want to mention, and this is back to single sign-on with the portal. We heard there were some programs having difficulty entering their child assessments. We know there's been, some, kind of revamp with getting QPS back online and the portal back online. And so there was a little bit of issue with getting our ASQs in. It looks like a lot of that has been remedied. Would love to hear if anyone's still having difficulty, but it looks like a lot of that has been remedied. So you're able to get your ASQs back in. And so right now they're still giving a little bit of room for that to get done, but that system seems to be back up and running. Please let us know if you're having difficulty with that. But it looks like everything is starting to communicate together again. So let us know if you're still having difficulty with that, but it looks like we should be back on track with that. Let us know if you have anything else happening with that.
Amy put in if we still don't have access to the portal. So if you are still having access issues for the single sign-on system or the QPS system, please send us an email. We will be happy to help you with that. Just know that we have to manually add QPS. Oh, let me talk about that for a second.
Yes, please.
So, yeah. So, two things. First thing, going to to get in the best practice way of getting into both the portal and the QPS system is to use the single sign-on website link. So the FLSSO portal link, that is your best way rather than going to like providerservices.florida early learning or the QPS site that we used to use. While I do think I think they can work. They haven't worked as well for access. So if you're still struggling with getting in sometimes, I think that can be why. So the best thing is to go to the website that was in the link when we set you up, which is that single sign-on portal link. We do have to manually add QPS to all of our users. So we have been slowly getting through those. But if we have not gotten to you, please, I see LaTorsha sent me a chat and Amy. So we'll get you on there. You just need, just give us a second and we'll add it. Just literally takes a second. And we can get you in and done. Longer than a second, but it really doesn't take that long. The other thing with that is they do recommend for best services on this system to use with your browser to clear your cookies and your cache. So if you're using Google, it's up on the right-hand side and Chrome, but Edge as well up on the right-hand side. There's three little dots. If you click on those dots, you have an option to like delete history. You don't have to delete all of your history. And I get some people are like, but I have all my websites. You don't have to delete all that. But if you clear out the cookies and the cache, that is like stored little bytes of data on your browser. And if you previously didn't have access and now you do, the system could default back to giving you that error because it's reading those pre-data bytes that are sitting on your browser. That may be more than we need to think about, but they recommend you clear your cookies and your cache, especially when we change a permission or a role in the system. So when we do that, then you should be able to get into QPS. But again, going through the single sign-on process, you will have a welcome message, and then you'll have two green boxes, one for the provider portal and one for the QPS system. That is the recommended way to get into QPS. When you click that green box, it will take you to the site, and then you just click on the program assessment, and you should be able to see your site. The other piece of that for those of you that may have multi-site access is that QPS was not set up like the portal. And if you have multi-site access, you know that when you go in the portal, you can just pick the site you want to go to and select it, and then it changes your homepage to be that location. QPS was not set up that way, never was. So what has happened is if you need multi-site access in QPS, we need more than one email to be able to do that. So we have to set up multi-users in the system so that you can get into QPS. But in order to do that, you have to use that other account to then get to the QPS site that you're trying to. So everybody with a again, it may be more than you need to know, but everybody that has a multi-site has a primary and then secondary locations. So the only site you can see is in QPS is the one that's assigned to you as a primary location. So if you're going into QPS and you can't see the site that you need to see, you need to let us know. But if you need access to multiple sites, we need to talk about how we can set that up because you can't get into multiple sites with the same email address if you're multi-site. So those are the two great little fun tidbits. And thank you for throwing in those things, Amy and LaTorsha. We will get that added on for you so that I can see what's going on. Emily says, if we nominated multiple people in our site, do we need? Yes, please. Emily, send me pictures. I sent an email asking for pictures, but I don't know who I sent it to. So if I missed and didn't get it to you, let me know.
And if you're looking for the new portal links, because I know I'm a person, I like to save the websites I visit the most in my favorites. If you go to the ELC homepage and at the very top, you'll see there are links in color and you'll see that apply for school readiness and VPK is in green. And just below that in red is the provider portal. That if you click on that link, that will take you to the new portal address. So if you go to that one, it's already tied to that new address, and then you can save that in your favorites. If you have the old one saved in your favorites, it will create some difficulties. So if you go to our website, it's right on the top of the website. You probably, when you go to our website, you will get a pop-up for families. It's going to stay there for a little while longer. We have that pop up there because it gives instructions and some videos for families who are getting into the portal. So we're just going to have that pop up there for a little bit longer. That's to support our families. But if you go to the top of our website, you'll see green is for families and in red is your link. And that is already linked to the new single sign-on portal. If you save that one, that's the one you need. Gina and I are going to start a later in life career as tech support. This is our new thing, Gina. Gina, I
have
love
to
that you're
tell
talking
you,
about
this
cookies and cash. I think this is amazing. This is going to be our new gig.
Never.
I know.
It's unreal. I just am like, I do not imagine how much tech support I needed to do. And it's so Gen X, right? I mean, those of you that remember helping our parents like set the VCR and stuff. So what we
Yeah.
rolled into. We went from VCR setting to tech support and logging
I
in.
know. So, but we're doing the best we can. Gina and I, we
We
have
are.
learned a whole new thing. We're learning,
Yes.
we're growing with all of you. So, those new links are on our website. So if you have saved the old one, I'm just replace it with these new ones. And it'll get you where you
Your
need to go.
tech That's a good idea, Lee. We're gonna have to give ourselves like tech certificates. I love that.
We should make our own, Gina, just
Yeah, we should.
our own little tech certificate.
Tech support certificates.
Yeah. We're gonna create
Um,
our own, everybody. Yeah.
yeah. So April put into any more information on the staff incentive program. So it's coming, April. I can't, we're really looking at some more information the end of this month coming out and then into May. The end of May, we'll have even more. So we're very excited. It's going to be a little bit in phases, but we definitely will have some more information for you at the end of the month. So we're right on time. We're getting there. A lot of work on the back end making this happen, but it's coming. It's not gone away. It's still coming.
Still coming.
And yep, still coming. We'll have that for you soon.
We'll be excited to share that with everyone. So
Yeah,
very,
we
very
are.
exciting
Very
stuff.
excited.
That is coming.
Yep.
All right, Gina, I'm checking through all my notes to make sure. Did we get everything?
Yep. And I'll attempt to get some more info out about the single sign-on. I know it's been a struggle. You can, when you're in single sign-on, not that y'all need to know everything about single sign-on, but you can change your password from the main page with the green boxes. Under the menu section, you can change your password if you don't like that one that the state sent you in the email. You absolutely can make a change to that. You can change your Sorry, I'm all froggy today. You can change your multi-factor authentication settings. So if you set it up to be an email and you'd rather get a phone call, you can also manage that on that same menu section and select something. If you're struggling to get in because you selected multi-factor and it's not working and you need it to be a different thing and you can't get in to make the change, you do need to let us know. We have to submit a ticket to get that fixed as well. So I don't know why I'm losing my voice today. The weather, I guess, is a little more pollen flying around out there. But yeah. Anyone else with anything we can support with, help with, questions on? Tech support? Can I help you out with any other
know.
cookies?
I
Cachet,
just
somebody
love
said.
that we're there, Gina. I love that
That's
we're
right.
there. I do.
Fix my cachet.
Yeah, but please reach out. Please reach out if you're still having trouble with it. Please
Yeah,
reach out.
don't struggle
Don't
alone. We're here to
don't
help
struggle
you.
on this. We are here to help.
Mhm.
And there are certain things that even with our tech savvy, Gina and I are gonna reach the end of our limit.
Yeah.
But we will forward you on. They have been really responsive. So
Yep.
just make sure you get the support you need so you can get on and make it easy on yourself. So reach out.
Absolutely.
We're trying to turn around as quick as we can. And we want to make sure you have everything you need to do, everything that you need to do every day, because we know that there's a lot happening at your programs, right?
Yeah,
We don't want
absolutely.
this to be difficult. We want it to be
Yeah.
simple. We want it to be easy. Okay.
Yep. And especially a multi-user. So if you really do need someone else to have access, if you keep, having to, here's the code, then definitely let me know. Very simple to add another user into the system. We can do that quite quickly, actually. One of the quickest ones I can get for you. So aside from adding QPS. So yeah, we could do that. Just need their name and email address.
The last thing, Gina, I was going to talk about a little bit is School Readiness Plus. I'm not sure if everyone is really
yeah.
familiar with School Readiness Plus, but we want to get the word out because it's a really wonderful way for families who have already qualified for school readiness, but maybe have gotten a raise or have received some type of bump, that now are over the threshold where they normally would no longer be eligible for a scholarship. The state came forward with School Readiness Plus. And what is happening is it's not being utilized a lot. So I think sometimes families think, gosh, I'm just making too much money. I'm not going to be eligible anymore. And that was exactly why the state put School Readiness Plus in place. It's for families so that they can continue. The important thing to know with this program is it's for existing scholarship families, so they have already qualified for a scholarship. And so they are now, and so we're moving from FPL, federal poverty level, to SMI, state median income. This is important because state median income much more closely aligns with the cost of living and income levels in Florida. So it's a little closer to what we experience here in Florida. So if you have a family who is somewhere between just above 85%, which is normally where they would exit out of school readiness, up to and including 100% of state median income, they can continue to keep a scholarship. They would just move to School Readiness Plus. So if you have families, and we're going to send information out to you, we're going to send flyers to you, and we're also creating a flyer because often families want to know, well, what dollar amount is that? What is the dollar amount that is between 85 and 100? What is that magic number? We'll have that information available because we want to keep children in care. We want to keep children attending your wonderful programs. We want to give families that stability. We want to ensure you have that stability so that these children are still coming to you and receiving these wonderful services. So that is what's going to be out and available. It has been, but we want to really get the word out because we think a lot of times families are just like, oh, I'm making too much money. I won't have that scholarship anymore. And they absolutely can under School Readiness Plus. So we'll send more information out about that. We have just kind of a general overall flyer, and then one that will really give them some ranges so they know exactly what that is. We don't expect everyone to go look this up and get out a calculator and figure it out. We'll have a chart that makes that easy. And so just want to let you know that's out there. Yeah. So Gina, not only are we tech support, but our presence helped someone log into the portal for the first time. So I think
I
it's
told you.
just Gina, just you being here helped someone get
I
in.
not for nothing, but I like to tell people I have magical fairy powers, just so you know. So if
No,
I'm
that's good.
on, usually we can sprinkle a little fairy dust and get you in there.
All right. See, Gina, we now have proof that that
That's
exists.
right.
Might have before, I might have just thought,
So it,
wow, Gina's
it
lost her
was, yeah,
mind.
it
But
was
no,
just
true. It's
no,
true.
that's true. Yay.
Okay. Yay, that's great. So any
Surprised you
questions
could
about,
get in. Yeah, she
I'll
can't
tell
see
you, if
anything, but she
everyone,
can get
maybe
in.
this is your chance. Try now while Gina's online. And this may be the thing we just need
That's
is
right.
just Gina to be online
Come
and people get
sell
in.
it. I
I know.
know.
That would be a
My running,
fabulous
I
seller.
know it would be so amazing. It's
That
my
would be
running
amazing.
joke.
I know.
Anytime anyone is like, it doesn't work, I'm like, let me see. And then they go, it works. And I'm like, oh, see, I don't know what I did, but it's
It's
amazing.
just
I
your
don't even
presence,
have to
Gina.
touch
You
it.
have magical tech fairy powers. That's just what happens. I love it. So for families that think they
Funny.
just are making a little too much money and they're like, I'm not even going to bother coming back in, come back in. Remind them, come back in. We'll make sure you have the information. So if they're like, oh, I just don't qualify. Maybe not the case. They could go to SR Plus, keeps their kids in care, right? And that's really why SR Plus is there. So we want to make sure you get that information so you can give that to families, so you can share that with families so they keep those appointments. Um, Corinne, I'm not sure if your question, why are parents being told about the School Readiness Plus program or how are they being told? I'm not sure if it's why or how. So we're getting the word out to parents as well. So this is for parents who already have a scholarship. So new families can't come on to School Readiness Plus. They have to be a current
Right.
School Readiness family. So we're sharing it with those families who already have a scholarship. Now, if we kind of pull that forward ahead, if we have a family that qualifies on School Readiness Plus, which is an additional pot of funding, that means their space in school readiness could now be open for another family. So there's double the benefits. But School Readiness Plus is for existing families who receive an increase in their income, that they're now above the 85% mark, but they are somewhere between above 85 up to including 100% of the state median income. And don't worry, there is a chart that goes with that. It's not just some magical made up. There's numbers that equal those amounts based on family size. And we can make sure the families have that so that it, makes a little more sense. But it is for families who already have a school readiness scholarship with Coalition. Corinne, hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure you have it too, because you see your families every day. So what about a family that had it? Could they come back? So the answer to that is they could come back on school readiness. But families who, it has to be a family that has existing school readiness to move to school readiness plus. So it would be they have to have school readiness, they have to come in on school readiness, and then they can qualify for school readiness plus. So that is the tricky part.
Yeah. And yeah, that Corinne is saying that her parent had so it really depends on the
scholarship, yeah.
funding that they had.
Mhm.
And that, we have multiple funding pots, so it really will depend on where the family was if they qualify. And
Right.
they may still make too much money for School Readiness Plus. That also has limitations on it. So
Right. Yeah, it does.
um,
So it's definitely better, 100% is certainly much more than 85, but they still may be over that. It also depends if they had a local scholarship.
Yeah.
I mean, there are multiple factors in there, but I always encourage all families to apply. Does not hurt to apply. And see what happens, but it is for existing families to keep those families in care. This is something new the state has, but we want to get the word out. We want to see families that they know that this is an option for them. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, so it sounds like we have a little bit of follow-up homework on Summer Bridge. So we'll get information out on Summer Bridge and the details for Palm Beach County. Thank you, Ms. Corinne, appreciate that. We have some follow-up with that. We'll make sure you get that. The links for the conference are in the chat. It is on our website and it's right in the slider at the beginning. So the slider is those rotating pictures. I've learned all about websites. Gina and I have just moved into new phases of our lives. So I've learned all about websites. And so when you go on, you'll see a beautiful, beautiful picture of the last conference. If you click directly on that, you can register for the conference. You can also just do that. And if you haven't bookmarked ELC Palm Beach yet, I'm not sure because the website is really cool. So you can click on that. You can go directly to the website. The other thing I'm going to plug, and this is just because I work with the amazing team that does the socials. If you are not following us on Facebook and Instagram, I'm just so confused. So please go on our website. You can follow us. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram under ELC Palm Beach. You will get all kinds of updates from us. You can always like us and follow us on socials. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We are not on TikTok yet. For those of you who are TikTok lovers, we are not on TikTok yet.
I don't know that anybody needs to watch us dance on TikTok.
No, I don't know if I'm trying to figure out the TikTok content situation, but we are on YouTube. This webinar will be on YouTube. So if you missed part, just, because you needed to go get your lunch because this is your one window today to eat, please eat lunch. It'll be up on YouTube. If you need to grab anything, we will have notes on there about the book giveaway with CSC, so you can access that. Click the QR code. I'm going to ensure you have those books coming to your site. We'll make sure all the links are in there. But absolutely. Favorite our website, follow our socials. We put lots of updates on our socials. We do send a newsletter every month, beginning of the month, but we put lots and lots of updates in between on our social pages. Okay.
Anything else for? I'm sorry, just answering an email at the same time, but and I was gonna say, if you haven't checked out our YouTube page, not for nothing, that is just a veritable library of so
Yep.
much information. I just was so floored the other day when I went on there. I was like, oh my gosh, look at all the things we have on here.
I know.
So,
And we reorganized it. So it's all
so
organized by
nice.
topics for families, topics for providers. Gina, you'll be very happy to know the very old, so there are no more old webinars from like
Oh,
2020.
goodness.
When did we start these? 2021? No one
22.
needs our information from
No,
2021. No, and no one needs to
no.
see the home hairstyles that we're going on, right? I've had some home hairstyles, no one needs, they're gone and that's fine. So, but our YouTube page is very organized by channels. You can find everything you need on there. This webinar is up. Thank you to Ariel who puts those up quickly. So if you need to go back and find, something on here that you needed just a repeat on, I'm that person because my brain just won't hold it all. It's
Absolutely.
up on YouTube. Yeah.
Excuse me, it is.
Thanks,
Wonderful.
Gene. I'm glad you like it. Yeah.
I do. I
Got that
really
whole
do. I like
situation
it when it's nice and organized.
Yeah,
Find
it's
what
all
you
organized
need.
for you.
Works nice. Absolutely. All right. Oh, the Yoseberry's on my. Amy, you should have gotten an email from Yos about getting into your account at Academy of Little Learners. So give that a try. Let us know if that doesn't work. The other big thing we see, hopefully everybody's picked up on that, but you always want to make sure you're clicking that hosted self-registered. Don't scroll down or don't go to the Department of Education where we live in that hosted self-registered link. So that's how you get in. Sometimes people have gone down to the school district or they've clicked the Department of Education and it doesn't work, and they're right, it won't.
Yeah.
So
That's very common with families too. Very
yeah.
common.
Yeah, I've heard that from
The
families
drop
as
down
well.
seems to
Yeah.
be creating a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think then you can go and pick your specific school district and it makes sense.
Yep.
Families think, well, I should pick Palm Beach because that's where I
Right.
live. That makes
Yep.
perfect sense. But
It
yeah,
does. So yeah, sometimes just little user tips and tricks. Well, amazing. Look, we're right there, 158. I always think we're never going to talk for an hour, and we always do.
we always do. There's so much going
So
on.
much going on.
I know.
Absolutely. So anything else we can help with before we go for today? If not, please enjoy the rest of the week, the rest of the beautiful weather that we've been having. Get outside if you can. Take it all in. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Thank you, Ariel and Aaron, always the gracious
Thank you,
co-hosts.
everyone. Thank you, Ariel.
We-
Thank you, Gina. But thank you,
Thank
everyone, for
you.
what you're doing for all our families and all our kiddos in
Yep.
Palm Beach County. It makes such a difference. So thank you.
Thank you all the sports staff in the background. I know your wives are on too, so thank you also. We'll be talking soon. If we don't have anything else to share, we're good. You'll hear more from us coming right along. I know it's a busy time of year, so thank you
If you
again.
need something, reach out. We're here. That's what we're here for.
Don't struggle alone. We're here to help. So let us
Thank you,
know.
everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.